Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Ari, and today we're going to have some more stories about our toxic life. But before we start, it would be so much appreciated if you would subscribe to my channel, like the video, if you enjoy it, and maybe leave a comment down below. These simple clicks would mean a lot to the future of this channel and really reward the effort that I put in every day. And now without further ado, let's go. Today's first story. In this story, Obi discovered his wife's cheating through missing security videos at her massage parlor. After consulting her stepbrother, he confronted her, leading to divorce. He filed for alimony, won, and established a new life. The wife faced financial struggles and lost customers after the revelation. He now focuses on his YouTube channel and emphasizes the importance of loyalty and respect in relationships. Now let's get into the story. My wife, 38, and I, 41, got married on May 5, 2015. She was the owner of a massage parlor. Before we got married, she would have to get up close and personal with male and female customers alike. I was surprised. My wife had cameras in the massage rooms, but it was legal as long as the cameras were visible. She said she felt better having everything recorded in case, and anyone tried to do anything weird or anyone tried to claim she touched them inappropriately. At the end of each night, she would store the video in an archived folder in case she ever needed to defend herself. I would help out in the business sometimes, but it was always upfront and taking out the trash. She showed me how to move the camera recording to the archived folder, and I did it for a couple of nights. I was glad I could help her, so it was one less thing she had to do. After I got used to doing it for a while, she had me stop. But that was far from the strangest thing she started doing. She started sleeping with her phone under her pillow and definitely on silent. I never heard that thing make a sound ever again. I wondered how she knew when someone tried to reach her business, but she probably knew because she was always looking at her phone unless she was giving a massage. She also tried to give me reasons why she didn't need me to work, or better yet, why I didn't want to work. I started to feel pretty hurt and actually asked her why she was pushing me away. She was really surprised I even noticed her treating me differently. Maybe her judgment was cloudy due to a fair fuck. This is when I really started wondering if something was going on. I showed up without telling her while she was in the massage rooms. I dismissed the receptionist, telling her I was there to relieve her lunch break. I opened up the archived file and scrolled through the dates. There were 2 dates within the past 3 weeks that weren't there. I scrolled back as far as the prior year, and the only 2 dates that were missing were within the past 3 weeks. So it was very unusual that any dates would be missing, and the fact that they were recent made me think I was catching on to something. I wasn't sure what to do, so I actually called my wife's stepbrother. We were closer than people might think. We hung out together at least 4 nights a week, sometimes staying up until 3 in the morning filming ghost hunting videos. I confessed to him what was going on, and it was hard. I had to make him promise not to tell my wife and really honestly give me his best advice, and that was to leave her. He jumped to that decision awfully fast. I asked him why he thought that so easily, and he told me that my wife had cheated on every single man she ever dated. I said a curse word when I heard him tell me that. He said he never told me because he thought every person deserves a chance to start over new. I really wish I would have asked him early on about his sister's past. Maybe he would have told me if I asked, but I wouldn't know now. So I decided to confront her about it to see what she had to say, but be prepared to divorce because something was definitely up. I waited until she was done working. One day, and we were almost done with dinner. She almost choked on her last bite. When I asked point blank if she was cheating on me, she immediately turned red and asked why I thought that. I told her it was because she deleted 2 security videos. She looked confused, but it was definitely acting. I knew my wife for 10 years at this point. I wasn't stupid. I asked her if I could see her phone, and that was not what she wanted to hear. She was in the middle of telling me she didn't have time to cheat, but that's not what I asked. I knew she was working while she cheated, probably with the same customer both times. That's a close visit for any regular customer. I was trying not to give this information too fast, but I couldn't resist, so I told her. I checked the financial logs too. This was a little more foreign to me, but I thought the number of customers she had on the mystery days didn't really match how much money she made. So one of the customers she had logged on those days was probably her AP. She did not like this conversation and how much thought I already put into this. I asked her again for her phone. She looked like she was going to throw up, and she actually did. I felt bad, but I also felt convinced I was right about the whole thing. If that was the case, she deserved to barf. While she was doing that, I grabbed her phone out of her back pocket and found tons of texts to one Sarah. I didn't know if that was a code name or what, but I took screenshots and sent them to myself before my wife stopped throwing up long enough to charge at me. She threw up on her phone while it was in my hands, and I ran outside to rinse my hands off with the hose. I told her I saw enough to know she cheated on me and I wouldn't stand for it. I grabbed my emergency departure bag and went to her stepbrother's house. I slept on the couch while I filed for divorce, hoping they would make her move. But the house was in her name, so I was the one that had to find a place to live since she was the breadwinner. I sued her for alimony because of her infidelity, and it was actually approved. I bought my own place. Even though it was a part of another house, it was still property I would own after I paid off the mortgage, so I was happy. My ex was not happy. She spent a ton of money on a lawyer, but it didn't make a difference. She got to keep the house, so I thought she should be happy. Once word got out about this, I'm not sure how it did. Her business lost a lot of customers. I didn't go around telling people, but karma took place anyway. The fact that she lost a lot of customers meant she did struggle to pay rent for a while. I heard she only dated AP a month before she was dumped because AP was scared she would do the same thing she did to me. To them, owning a massage parlor is a privilege and a duty. People are trusting you with their bodies, and it takes a lot for some people to even relax. The fact that she did this is very unsettling. Since then, I've managed to grow my ghost hunting YouTube channel and have a monthly income from that, along with a side job I started with my best friend and ex's stepbrother. I have no idea how my ex is going to make do in life, but it doesn't really concern me. I hope this tale inspires people to remain loyal and respectable. Today's second story. In this story, a couple celebrating their 10-year anniversary faces a shocking revelation when the husband overhears his wife confessing to an affair with her boss. Instead of immediately confronting her, he strategically exposes the truth at their anniversary party, leading to her embarrassment and eventual admission. The husband, determined to move on, divorces her and reports the affair to the company's HR, causing consequences for both. Despite finding a new relationship, he reflects on the time wasted trusting his unfaithful ex-wife. Now let's get into the story. My wife and I were married for 10 years. Our anniversary party was coming up, and I couldn't believe I was lucky enough to find someone to be with for so long. We knew everything about each other and were best friends. Our zodiac signs were soulmates, so maybe that explains it. I did see that her sign can be known for cheating, but I ignored that, and for 10 years it was fine. We had a daughter 3 years into her marriage. My wife worked the same career all those years, and she was about to receive her biggest raise yet, just before our planned summer family vacation. It really seemed like I found true love and would always have her. The night she got home from getting her raise, she was flustered and blown away at the good news. She acted like it hadn't sunk in yet. I thought I saw an expression on her face that looked blown away and worried about something. I asked if she was having trouble believing her own success, and she forced a laugh and said yeah. She wasn't convincing me. I knew something else was going on, but when I tried asking, she said she was fine and only pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what else to say, but her cheating on me did not cross my mind. Then she said something weird before she went into our bedroom. She said her boss is incredible and she was lucky he likes her so much. This made me do a double take. It sounded weird, and I think she realized she slipped by saying it that way. The next day was the same day as our anniversary party. As we got ready, she got a phone call and it was her boss. She dismissed herself to talk in the office, which she normally did so she could write stuff down for later. Unbeknownst to, My wife knocked right up against the door to listen to their conversation. At first, she just thanked him again for the raise, and then she got really quiet. She whispered that she was glad she could thank him properly, that he was really amazing, and that she wanted to feel him again. Then she asked him if there were any security cameras that could see into. She was quiet for a beat, then said that was good because no one could find out what they were doing or they'd be fired. I was putting together a pretty clear picture in my head. I wanted to barge into the room and tell her I heard everything, but I decided to make an announcement at our anniversary party. I had to do something that would force me to follow through with confronting her and divorcing her. I was sure she just confirmed out loud that she slept with her boss in his office. I stood paralyzed outside the door until she came out. She was really worried. I was standing so close. She was trying to figure out if I was okay, but I just plastered on this fake smile. She asked if I was ready, and we left. I was like a zombie, and she was antsy. She only smokes cigarettes when she's really stressed out, and on the way there she lit one. She tried asking me again if I was okay, and I know she really wanted to ask if I heard her conversation. We arrived at the venue, and I turned to her to say, "Let's go celebrate our 10-year marriage, wife." I sounded like a robot in the absence of anger, and she knew I heard them, but she couldn't bring herself to talk to me about it. We went inside, and she sat there sweating until I got up to give a speech. I let her sit there for a while, taking my time to calmly greet our friends and family and pretend everything was fine. Our 7-year-old was there too. She was at my parents' for the week to give my wife and I time to ourselves as an anniversary present. Seeing all of our loved ones and daughter made my wife start itching herself a lot. She looked like she was going through withdrawals. Her face was red, and people actually started circling her, saying she didn't look good. She swore she was fine, but people could see her skin was slick with sweat. I took this as an opportunity. I told everyone in a loud and clear voice that my wife was having an affair with her boss. Everyone gasped and my wife fainted. Since our family and friends aren't heartless, they started fanning her and got a cold cloth for her forehead. The old-fashioned thing to do, I guess. When she came to, she was so ashamed she couldn't speak. She finally said she wanted to go home, and I asked her what home. She started bawling and ran to the bathroom. I thanked everyone for coming and picked up my daughter and took her home. We were in bed while my wife called a few times. 2 other people called, but I didn't hear any of it because I was asleep. I think I felt so content that I found out the truth before long and followed through with kicking her out. I found out later that one of my wife's cousins let her stay at her house. That wasn't all that was going to change, though. I emailed their company's HR about what happened. They got back to me a week later, thanking me for the information and informing me proper action was taken. My wife called me first. She said I was a low slime bag for ruining her and her boss's careers that they worked towards their whole life. I told her she was a low slime bag for ruining our marriage. After I worked hard for her and our daughter for 10 years of my life, how could she ever look up to her mother again? I didn't hear from her until visitation with our daughter started after our divorce. I've already found a woman with a daughter of her own that's done things for me my ex never would have considered. But it's bittersweet because I realized I wasted a lot of time trusting her.